Hi guys, this is the fourth day of the 31 Days of Horror, and I'm going to review the film Cabin Fever Patient Zero. Now I guess I'll give you a little backstory of my thoughts of the first two Cabin Fever movies. This is a prequel. I like the first one. I didn't love everything about it. It was a little bit inconsistent, but overall I really did enjoy the first one. I just, you just don't see the flesh-eating type disease in horror films that often, so I thought that was interesting. The second one I didn't enjoy at all. You could tell it was a smaller budget. I thought the acting was all around pretty bad. I just didn't enjoy that one at all. And I'd heard of this one. I thought this was a third one in a trilogy, but I guess it's the prequel to the first film. And I hate to say that I enjoyed this one even less than the second one, and that's saying a lot because I didn't like that one at all. I guess I'll describe the plot of this one and then talk about why I didn't like it that much. Sean Astin's in it, and he plays, I guess, one of the main characters of the story. He plays Porter, and he was with a group. I'm not sure where it was. It might have been the Dominican Republic, but they were building houses. And the flesh-eating virus, I guess, broke out, and he's the only survivor of the little group he was in. And he's abducted and taken to a medical research facility to be quarantined and studied because he's the only person that the virus doesn't affect. He's immune to it. And he's upset because he finds out his son's dead. He wants to get out. He doesn't want to be held there against his will. But they need to, get samples, experiment, and see what's causing this, because so far, except him, the mortality rate of this virus is 100%. And here's my first problem with this film, and I'll get on to the rest. I wish they would have focused on Porter, on the medical research facility, on the virus itself, like exactly where it came from, and how it got out, more focused on that. There's a whole nother subplot to the movie that I didn't enjoy, and I thought the movie would have been better without it. It didn't really add anything for me, and I would have really liked them to just focus on the virus itself and the Porter story, rather than the second one that's going on at the same time. So that's my first issue with it. So besides all this going on, there's a guy who's fixing to get married, and his best friend and brother come down for the wedding, and they take him out on a boat, kind of like as a small bachelor party type thing the night before his wedding. And for some reason, there's a girl with him, which still doesn't make sense to me why she even came along, except to just, be eye candy and, be nude. That's great. So they take the boat, they go to a little island, which, unknown to them, is the same island where the research facility is located on. And the first person, slowly they all start to get infected with the virus because it's somehow gotten out of the research facility. And then they try to get to the facility because they think there's somebody there that will help them, because some members of the party have already started to show apparent signs of being infected. And so that's kind of follows the film. It's just the group of four and Porter and some of the other doctors in the research facility. And like I said, I would have left the whole bachelor party thing out of the movie. I just didn't like that story. I didn't think it added anything to the movie. And most of the acting wasn't that great. Sean Astin, I think, is a good actor. I don't know why he did this film, because I think he's good normally in other TV shows and movies I've seen him in. But him as Porter is probably the best part of the movie. And I think a couple of the doctors, their acting is okay. But the whole small group of the bachelor party, the acting was horrible. I was really, it's one of those kind of things where you're waiting for their scenes to be over because you're just so uninterested because the acting is so bad. And it's just like, you don't care. So that was my first. And another thing, I'm not going to give away too much what happens in the movie, of course, but for this to be a prequel, I don't think it did a good job as being a prequel. A prequel should explain something about why, of course, they're talking about the flesh-eating virus that you see in the first film. They should have explained, where it came from. There should be a slow build as, to the infection and how it got out and all that. And you still have no idea where this virus came from. They don't explain it. They don't even have like an origin for it. And just the whole thing of it getting out of the facility after it's been quarantined and how it's just, and then it stops off before it even it doesn't even, because a lot of prequels sometimes they'll stop at the point where the first film starts, and this one it didn't connect to the first film whatsoever except for this virus. So as a prequel, I think that's kind of a failure if it doesn't even connect the two together. So yeah, overall, I gave this a 2 out of 10. I really didn't like it. I thought the acting was bad, the story wasn't good. It didn't explain anything as a prequel. It could have been a movie about something totally different, and it couldn't have even been related to cabin fever, and I wouldn't have known the difference. Because except the flesh-eating virus, there was no connection there with the films. So yeah, I was a fan of the first one, but I have not liked any of the continuing movies so far. But that's my review of Cabin Fever Patient Zero for the 4th day of the 31 Days of Horror. Thanks so much for watching.